Nithyanandam, welcome back. Let us now go over the revelations to the world by Devi Parashakti in the Akashic readings. On 12th May, Devi revealed, I came as Nijavatara. I am blessing you. Listen. People, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nijavatara. People of India, listen. Carefully listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened beings come. We cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightened beings have to come. They have to live. It has to flower. Few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies' rule, the captain had to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadhas, by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana, is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in the Navapashana flower. People, whoever come and dip in Vaidyasarovar, they will not have death, they will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line. Every day they will come and dip in Anandalingam. Further, the revelations said, listen well to my words. For India, I made a ship as protection, the Nithyananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidyasarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa. O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nithyananda Nijavatara without confusion and without talking just as lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. Crores of people will come there looking for help, Navapashana water feast and medicine to get health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from the great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if captain is not there, ship is there. So one can see the real contrast when the so-called first world countries themselves are closing their borders during this massive global emergency, this COVID-19 pandemic, where the world does not have any solution medically or to handle the stress and depression that literally the whole world is going through. Kailasa is the only nation that has opened its doors to all without exception. It is not something where opening the doors is not something which is not fraught with risk, but how all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa across India have been enabled, micromanaged, guided directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let us see in the next few minutes. Free COVID care centers have been opened across India. This includes over a dozen. And across the various states, Adi Kailasa in Viridi, Bangalore, Salem Adinam in Tamil Nadu state, Tiruvannamalai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Rajapalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Puduvai Adinam in the state of Puducherry, Pattanam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Siragapadi Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Sripuram Adinam in Hyderabad, Madurai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Avattipalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Hosur Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Baroda Adinam in the state of Gujarat. These multiple free COVID care centers have been opened by Kailasa as it rushes to aid India, as India finds itself on the verge of the COVID-19 third wave, as various news reports indicate, and as the warnings indicate by various health organizations, including the World Health Organization, the oncoming third wave is expected to be the starkest, the most dangerous, and the signs of it, as one saw, already there in terms of the various variants of the COVID-19 virus, be it the Delta, Delta Plus, or the various fungi like white fungus, black fungus, green fungus, yellow fungus, all these are making their attack on humanity in the wave of this COVID-19, because even the medicines of this or whatever extra medication needs to be taken for COVID-19, whether as a cure, the person surviving the COVID pandemic is still fraught to danger because the immune system is so debilitated with the medicines that the person has to take or with the infection of COVID-19, which leaves the body so vulnerable. In the face of that reduced immunity, people facing the various attacks with all these fungal infections, which normally any human body would have been able to counter. It is not like these fungi are new or that they are variants of the virus. So, at various levels, the COVID-19 protection needs to happen. One is to prevent the infection. Second, if the infection happens, how to give immediate medical care. Third, after the person recovers, how to rebuild the immunity so that the person is not fraught to the risks of getting infected with further derivatives like the various fungal infections, which are fatal, equally fatal as the COVID-19 pandemic. And on top of all these, again, not just protecting the people from the physical infection itself of the pandemic, but to ensure the mental health of the people is protected. As one saw, anxiety and depressive disorder affecting practically the whole globe, over 50% of the population, be it youth, in fact, the youth affected more than 80%, or the elderly, and across all segments, which is working people, especially the frontline workers who are the healthcare workers, and the people who go to offices and work, which includes the IT sector and other office going people. As one saw, the surveys indicate extreme amount of stress disorder, anxiety, depression, frustration, and all these affecting the workplace health. And even nursing mothers, pregnant women, these statistics indicate that anxiety and depression has increased for them almost 4 times, and more than 70% of the pregnant women and nursing mothers facing anxiety, both for themselves and their yet to be born or just born children. In the face of all this problems at multiple levels, Kailasa providing a holistic solution for COVID care, because not only are the various humanitarian services being offered by the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa across India during this pandemic, but various spiritual services are also being offered. So one is protected on all the levels we just mentioned, which is physical protection in the form of multi-layer quarantine, the mental health protection because of the spiritual lifestyle that is designed and implemented across all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa, and making everyone a part of it by explaining the importance of it and doing it in a joyful manner. And above all, the cosmic revelations by Devi Parashakti on the global pandemic, helping to support people to tide over this pralaya, this pandemic, this global crisis. The free humanitarian services offered during this pandemic in the de facto spiritual embassies across India include the medical care uh, in the form of various streams of medicine, including allopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha, naturopathy. All these streams used to give the best medical care to prevent the infection. So the immunity of the body is built up so that the risk of the corona pandemic impacting an individual is reduced to the maximum possible level. Infrastructure to accommodate thousands of people so that they can avail of this COVID care protection center, and all this accommodation designed and implemented in the form of multi-layer quarantine facility. What multi-layer quarantine facility means is the the whole accommodation is designed so that the interaction with the outside world of the people at large is absolutely kept to almost nil. It's only how we have a frontline workers like that. Only at the entry and exit points, a certain individual or group of individuals assigned, and the whole interaction with the so called external world is through these individuals. And within the whole premises of the de facto spiritual embassies, various layers of quarantine maintained so that first 15 days, a person who comes into the COVID care protection center is restricted to a certain quarantine facility. And after the 15 days, if the person does not show any symptoms of ill health, the person allowed to move to the next layer, which is the residential area. So the multi-layer quarantine facility designed so that people feel protected for themselves and others. It's a community living, enforcing, implementing absolute safety and protection. And in the event of any eventuality, it is for us to be able to handle the same. There are emergency ambulances and ICU on wheels. ICU on wheels meaning till the person is able to get medical care and attention at the nearest available hospital. The ICU on wheels is enabled so that the person can be taken care of in all situations. The personal protective medical equipment is provided to the people who are coming for the COVID care protection center, and food security management is done through food banks, and to sustain the whole ecosystem, organic farming is done, including vertical gardening, high density farming. So to join the COVID Care Protection Center, you can register now if you have not already registered. Go to the link https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. Let's take a few seconds now to register ourselves at this link.
I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailasians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world.
And welcome back. And as we conclude, we just want to show a few glimpses of the various activities that are happening in the Adi Kailasa COVID Care Protection Center related to Jnana or knowledge, which includes the Bhagavad Gita class, which is conducted for the members of the Adi Kailasa Protective, Preventive, Multi-Layered Quarantine Facility. So there is chanting classes, Bhagavad Gita chanting classes. There is classes held for Gurukul kids, for the kids of the COVID Care Protection Center participants, so that the kids are equally kept engaged, aligned, and inspired to live the higher truths. So with this, we move to the next segment. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service, helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa.
Nithyananda, welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining us for today's live program. Now, over the last few days, for this particular segment where we are going into the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we've been understanding the 8 stages of genocide and how the genocide has been systematically used in a 8-part process, how it has literally been a strategic, systematic attack against a cultural minority and or a religious and ethnical minority. And in each of these different stages, one of them was segregation and isolation. We also had programmed confusion, silent assassinations, exploiting weaknesses of a certain religious minority, and also the justification propaganda. All of these were what we had discussed in previous segments of the 8 stages of genocide. And today we're going to be concluding on the last 2 stages of genocide. Relentless persecution is one of them. And as a recap, let us understand segregation and isolation. So On the 15th of June 2012, in a single day, 2 false cases were booked against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and he was re-arrested. The disciples did not even know of the second false case and had no clue about where the police were taking the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, even after bail was granted. By isolating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from his disciples, the police were able to illegally arrest and violate the basic human rights of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as well as make him vulnerable to mob attacks who are armed. Now, in this example, we saw how the isolation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism makes him ultimately more vulnerable to attacks, silent assassination attempts, and makes the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism vulnerable to not being able to defend himself and perpetuating the crimes done against him and Hinduism itself. Yes, we'll go to the next slide. And another example here is also from the 14th of September 2014. During the illegally administered medical tests, several hands of doctors and police, and this allowed them to attempt to poison the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and inflict serious damage on his body, which left him unable to walk. And this was another example of the horrifying acts of isolation, where they had literally surrounded and isolated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from those who could protect him and defend him as the attacks were used against him. Now, we had gone through, after this, the segregation and isolation stage. After this, we had understood program confusion, as well as the next stages of persecution. Now, in this segment of the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where we present to each and every one of the viewers on this persecution, we'll be understanding the next stage, which is relentless persecution. This is stage number 6. I request the NTV volunteer to go to slide number 120. Yes. So while we get that sorted, in 1996, Gregory Stanton, one of the officials who had presented the 8 stages of genocide to the United States Department of State for the first time, and while this had been discussed since 1871 in different colleges, and also the Anthropological Society of American Society, the 8 stages of persecution were officially recognized as a systematic way to demoralize and dehumanize and continue to oppress a certain culture. And we've seen this across even the Cambodian genocide, the Rwandan genocide, the Armenian genocide, and even the colonial invasion against the Native Americans. It's continuously ongoing. And we have seen continuously how this has been playing out in the favor of the anti-Hindu militant forces in the case of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the brutal persecution done against him. So we have right now the relentless persecution, where all the terrorist forces repeat the mass attempts to kill until the entire community is exterminated and no evidence of crime remains, and no one is available to even tell the truth. Now, the first example of relentless persecution, we have the Bengal Plaiman. Now, in this case, one of the atrocities that happened against Hindus, where just over the course of just a few months, 3 million Hindus, 3 million Bangladeshis were starved to death. And what happened on the outside? How did the authorities deal with, and were they even held accountable for the deaths of 3 million people? Absolutely not. Instead, it was easy for them to put the blame on the lack of distribution and the people themselves, the people who are denied food in the first place. they were trying to say as if the entire community, society was disorganized and there was so much of theft happening that the food was not distributed properly. However, who was the person, people who were stealing the food and disproportionately taking the food away from the natives and the indigenous people, the Hindu people? It was the British population. In this way, not only in just these attacks in 1 year, but so many man-made famines were used against the Hindus in order to literally break the people and break their love for life or their psychology entirely, where hunger and the lack of food becomes the way that they die. It's the most painful death. The next slide, please. In the case, in the Holocaust and the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we saw the most relentless persecution beginning from the 3rd of March 2010, when the headquarters of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was attacked, and the very living place where he lived was literally thrown fire bombs, and they had literally set it on fire while the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was inside. The next slide, please. Here you can see the images of the attempt to kill the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, nationally broadcasted in so many TV channels. And once again, the relentless persecution continued as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was chased by the anti-Hindu militant forces for 2,300 kilometers as he went from Tiruvannamalai to Haridwar in a series of places where he was trying to find safety. And unfortunately, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to go until Haridwar, where even there he was not able to find a place where they would not track him down and attempt to kill him. And on the media, while the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was literally undergoing so much of third-degree torture in the prison, in the media, they would mock and ridicule the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The reality was that during the illegal arrest of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2010, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had had a extreme series of attacks against him, where the anti-Hindu militant forces had induced a heart attack, where he was immediately feeling high blood pressure and high heart rate, and due to this extreme tiredness and unable to even conduct himself. And for this reason, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism requested medical attention. And however, in the media, they ridiculed and mocked the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for having requested just simple medical attention, for having undergone so many attacks while his heart rate was beating and he was unable to even breathe, while the anti-Hindu militant forces had attempted to poison him. Yet, as you can see here, the media had attacked and had ridiculed the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and then continue to dehumanize him in even the most sensitive situations. Again, in 2012, with so many attempts to mob lynch the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in the media, they were even publicizing that 600 armed police were required to handle the crowds around the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as he was being illegally taken into imprisonment. And we even saw how there was armed mobs that were waiting for him outside of the police station that were entirely staged by the anti-Hindu militant forces. The next slide, please. And here we have the footage, terrifying footage, where the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was absolutely at risk.
மீண்டும் போலீசாரால் கைது செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளார்.
Just this footage is extremely horrifying to watch, especially as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism literally just one grasp away from losing his life. The next slide, please. And once again, in 2014, another act of relentless persecution and genocide was the torture, genital mutilation, and the deep-rooted pain inflicted by the anti-Hindu forces against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism during the illegally administered potency test in 2014. And not only against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who bore the most brute attacks, but also against the disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In 2012, one of the administrators of Kailasa was attacked and needed to be rushed to the hospitals to have 13 stitches on his head. And in 2017, as well, one of the Kailasians was literally burnt alive in the Tonde Mandalam Adinam after an attack by the anti-Hindu militant forces. And we have to ask ourselves, why were disciples, devotees, and sannyasis attacked? Here we're seeing one of the initiated disciples who was attacked in 2017 in Pavlakundru, and in 2013 another Swami of the Nithyananda order attacked in Uttarhalli Adinam. And even the women sannyasis who were attacked in the 2017 Trishulam attack, all these are forms of relentless persecution where the incessant brute force would bring down the other side, the minority, to its knees. And here's a list of all of the different attacks that we had faced. And we can just say some of the different major attacks faced by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and in Kailasas across India. In 2010, we saw the worst attack, major attack, where Adi Kailasa Sarvignapitam as well as all the other Adinams in India was attacked. In 2011, staged protests and other media attacks were inflicted and staged across against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In 2012, the second major attack was in Kailasa, in Adi Kailasa Sarvignapitam. And 2013, 2014, continuously every year, an attack against Kailasa happened. Now, the last stage of the persecution of the steps and stages of Hindu genocide is the denial and diverting attention from the crimes of persecution. Rewriting persecution history, denying and hiding crimes of persecution, and blaming victims for their losses and death using extremely atrocious lies. Yes. Now, one of the first examples here is 29 million people who were forced to starve to death to finance wars of the colonial empire. And what Churchill had said, "I hate Indians. They are beastly people with beastly religion, and the famine was their own fault for breeding like rabbits." This was his own words against the Hindus, 29 million Hindus who had died, who were starved to death. From 1933 to 1950, the famines in Bengal were continuing for decades. In spite of this, colonial empire exported the grains to other countries where it was not even required, causing even more deaths in Bengal. Their PM denied it, claiming that the Hindus deserved it because they bred like rabbits. But there was no Stats Education Board Indian history books that talk about this part of the Hindu Holocaust. And in 1971, the Bangladeshi Hindu genocide killed up to 3 million people. It was the genocidal rape of 350,000 women, 10 million Hindus who had to flee the country, and 30 million who became internally displaced. And we are seeing how in the Hindu population in Bangladesh is dwindling, with less than half a drop from 1951 to 2011. 22.05% of the population were Hindu in 1951, and 60 years later, only 8.5% of the population is Hindu. Although so many people were killed and raped, this is purposely omitted from all Indian history in these books. This topic is completely denied and not discussed in any part of the world, neither as a war casualty nor as a religious persecution. From 1990 to 2018, for a long time until recently, the suffering of the persecuted Kashmiri Hindus was ignored and their human rights absolutely denied. The Indian media mafia repeatedly suppressed the atrocities done on Hindus by purposely not giving it any coverage. And denial of persecution continued in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the persecution against HDH. Here we're seeing a media article where 600 police were deployed for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as it is claimed on the media. And it's saying over 600 police personnel were stationed within the court premise in a two-pronged attack mode. On the 14th of June 2012, the state, on the chief minister's order, mobilized a 600 battalion paramilitary police force and fueled in $3 crore, $1.5 million for unlawful body arrest and parade of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The High Court termed the entire exercise as for order and as illegal and abusive power. The state and media always denied the persecution that they executed. And once again, another example of denial and diverting attention from times of persecution is how they denied the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in media attacks in 2019 by trying to say that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is slandering India, or in any case, the next slide please, or trying to say that he was a traitor. Again and again, they tried to deny that there was a persecution that was happening against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Hinduism in its entirety. And this is exactly what even people do against the Jewish Holocaust nowadays. Jewish Holocaust deniers are the people who still are believing and reinforcing Nazi agenda and trying to revive that in some sense. In the same way, there are so many people, anti-Hindu militant forces themselves, who parade in social media all over the world how the Holocaust is not real and the persecution against the Pontiff of Hinduism is not real. We have to understand that genocide is not an accident. There is a science behind it, and anybody can be targeted. And let's understand in a very example how the 7 stages of genocide were used on the Tasmanian devil. Now let's understand just this animal. It's a dog-sized animal belonging to the biological family of kangaroos and was labeled as the Tasmanian devil and pushed to extinction by killing in large numbers. Now let's see the first step. The being was named as a devil. The animal was not killed for food. It was killed because it was considered a devil. It was isolated from other beings, and just as how this being's mass killing was done by calling it the devil, same way mass killings of humans have been done by calling them thugs in 1971, and godmen in 1950 to 2020, and thieves in the 2020 Palgar Sadhu's murders. Number 2, program confusion. Once again, it was falsely claimed that they were a threat to livestock and animals that were hunted for fur. It was also falsely claimed that they ate human beings. General people did not dig to find the reasons why they were called devils. They were misled to recognize the animals as demonic and worthy of being killed. And 3, exploiting weaknesses. As the being was an animal, it had no say in the false propaganda built against it. Since the humans were doing this, they were not native to the land. They were easy to convince to commit such an atrocity. And again, justification propaganda. The fact that they were characterized and labeled as a devil, and the very word has a negative image attached to it, it was too easy to kill the animals. Killing these animals would be seen like a social service. And silent assassination. Until adverse effects on the nature were noticed, neither did people bother to stop killing them, nor did people realize any reason to protect them. All of them were very silently killed in large numbers. And here we have one of the highlights from Tasmanian devils, saying Tasmanian devils could restore mainland ecosystems. Reintroducing Tasmanian devils to mainland could improve biodiversity by limiting the spread of red foxes and feral cats in habitats where dingoes have been culled, and new studies suggest. So as you can see, the benefit of Tasmanian devils and how it could literally change the entire ecosystem around it was never noticed until they were entirely extinct. And again, we have the relentless persecution. People indiscriminately kept killing the being for many years. From 1941 to 2008, around 80% of these beings have been killed. And finally, denial. Till today, there is false narrative that the Tasmanian devil kills people is alive. And it is still completely untrue. Till today, it is portrayed negatively in the tourism campaign. And even after all the false narratives and exaggerations have been scientifically debunked, people recognize it as the devil. The entire Wikipedia page addresses it as the devil. The present status, the species was listed as vulnerable under the Tasmanian Threatened Species Protection Act in 1995. In 2005, and the Australian Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act in 1999 and 2006, which means that it is at risk of extinction in the medium term. Yes, we can go to the previous slide. So now we understand how the 8 stages of persecution actually happen, and how this has been repeatedly done against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, just to recap, I request the NTP volunteers to project the slide from the 8 stages of persecution slide at the very beginning. We're just going to recap the entire 8-stage process and understand how this is a systemized attack against cultures and against so many different people. Yes. So this is the process of executing a persecution. And each one of the stages here is defined. 1, segregation and isolation, the divide and rule act. The act of isolating from the human family to make him vulnerable and easy to persecute. 2 is program confusion, making it impossible for victim and society to make intelligent, conscious decisions about violence against the victim. The 3rd is exploiting weaknesses of the public. Traits and weaknesses of the targeted individual or community are leveraged. And justification propaganda, a targeted propaganda to drive ideology into a society to justify the acts of violence against the victim. The 5th is silent assassination, where carrying out assassinations using silent means like anonymous mob, so that no one may be blamed and it may be conveniently dismissed as an accident, a natural occurrence, or a suicide. The 6th is relentless persecution, the repeat the mass attempts to kill until the entire community is exterminated and no evidence of crime remains. No one is available even to tell the truth. And the 7th is the denial and diverting attention from the crimes of persecution, rewriting persecution history, denying the hiding and the crimes of persecution, and blaming the victims for the deaths. Ultimately, no one is held accountable for so many millions of people who have been traumatized, who are suffering, and who have died. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has worked so hard in the last 3 years to ensure, in some way or form, the Hindus have some kind of recognition for the amount of persecution going on. And he's even declared that in the United States, in Washington, D.C., that he will make sure that there is a museum for the Hindu Holocaust, ensuring that the world understands what Hindus have undergone. And the untold story of the Hindu Holocaust is untold no longer. In this way, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has literally done the most to ensure that Hindus have a voice, an international platform to have our stories, what has happened to Hindus, be recognized. And today, the United Nations has recognized the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and recognized the persecution done against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, especially the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the denial of rights of the women of Kailasa. I request all of the viewers to go to the link in the description or the scroll below and understand how for yourself, check out how the United Nations has recognized the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and ensure that you're spending a few minutes to share this with as many people as possible. You can share with your family and friends first, or you can share on your Facebook wall, our Twitter feed, and please also share to the people who have a larger audience, who are influential and can bring out the untold story of the Hindu Holocaust and the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to more and more people. I request each and every one of you to take a few minutes now to share with as many people as possible the link in the scroll below. And now in July, we are observing the Hindu Persecution Awareness Month, especially in the time when we are simultaneously celebrating the occasion of Guru Purnima. It is also extremely important for each and every one of us to ensure we do not take for granted the gurus who have sacrificed everything in order to pass on the science of Sanatana Hindu Dharma to the next generation and ensure the world is protected from all negative energies. It is because of the work and the leaders of Sanatana Hindu Dharma who have brought the science of Sanatana Hindu Dharma to the world that today even the world exists even. There is so many amount of nuclear weapons in the world, even to just destroy it 7 times, time and time again. And if not for the Hindu leaders, the great Paramahamsas, such as even Paramahamsa Yogananda, Osho, even Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and even Swami Vivekananda, until the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, if it's not for the great leaders of Sanatana Hindu Dharma who have worked tirelessly to revive Sanatana Hindu Dharma and bring it to the world, we would have seen the end of the world long back. Now, during this pralaya, as the world is seeing such tragedy in every single direction, and literally so much corruption, violence that is happening, it is only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who is spearheading a way to live an enlightened, higher lifestyle through the revival of the Hindu civilizational nation, Kailasa. Kailasa is the only way we can protect Hindus and Hinduism, even if we just want our next generation to understand and benefit from Hinduism as we have. All of the Hindus out there, if we are enjoying and cherishing anything from Hinduism, whether it is the stable family structure that we have learned from Lord Rama, or the sciences that we have contributed to the world by the ancient Vedic rishis, or any different great contribution, if we are enjoying that today, it is because of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and it is because of the Hindu gurus who have sacrificed everything to bring that down to our generation. We have to take responsibility to protect gurus, recognize the Guru Parampara, and ensure that we are giving our gratitude and taking responsibility to continue on the Guru Parampara. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the sole leader, the last lamp for Hinduism and reviving Hinduism. And we each and every one of us have a role and responsibility in reviving Kailasa as he is spearheading this grand revival of Kailasa. Once again, I encourage each and every one of the viewers to go to the link in the scroll below, and you can share with all of your friends, with everyone, about the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Finally, because of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his hard work to ensure the international audience has a way and understands the truth of what's going on against Hindus, finally, each and every one of us has a voice, a way to retell the story of the Hindu Holocaust. So let us take a few minutes and share. And as we're coming to the conclusion of today's segment on this series on for the Hindu Persecution Awareness Month, you can ensure that that you are doing your part by sharing this link with as many people as possible. If you are Hindu, let us reclaim our Hindu identity today and ensure that we take responsibility in some way or form to make sure that everyone knows what has happened against Hindus, and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, what he bore, what sacrifice he did to revive the nation of Kailasa. So with this, I'll now conclude this segment of the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Every single day, we are spending just an hour of this program in order to share with all of you what is the truth behind the persecution and the Hindu Holocaust and what actually has happened. Please stay tuned and join us back for the further segments in this series. as we are continuing to observe the Hindu Persecution Awareness Month. We'll now end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Tat Tat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamustu. Om Shanti. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasa, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world.
All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. whole world should become Kailasians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa.
I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasa, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world.
All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. You will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
കാണാതത് കണ്ടാരേ കണ്ടാരേ കാണാതത് കണ്ടാരേ ഒരു വീട് ஒரு கூடு அட எதுவும் கிடையாதே சாக்காடு பிடிமூப்பு அதையெல்லாம் கடந்தாரே கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே கூத்தாடும் செடையாண்டி அதை குறியா கொண்டாரே காத்தோடு கதை பேசி சிவஞானம் கண்டாரே பத்தோட ஓரட்டு பத்தோட 18 சித்தர்கள் விளையாட்டு எத்தனை பேருக்கு தந்தாரோ ஐயா சித்தங்கா போக்கு சிவம்போக்கு என சொன்னாரே. பித்தங்கா போக மருந்தாக தனம் வந்தாரே. வடகாசி தென்காசி வழியோரன் சித்தரடி. ஐயாத்தி முடிஞ்சாக்கா அடையாளம் கண்டுபிடி. கண்டாரே காணாதத கண்டாரே. கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே. கண்டாரே காணாதத கண்டாரே. ஒரு வீடு ஒரு கூடு அட எதுவும் கிடையாதே. சாக்காடு பிடிமூப்பு அதையெல்லாம் கடந்தாரே. கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே. கூத்தாடும் சடையாண்டி அதை குறியா கொண்டாரே. காத்தோடு கதை பேசி சிவஞானம் கண்டாரே. பத்தோட ஓரட்டு பத்தோட 18 சித்தர்கள் விளையாட்டு. எத்தனை பேருக்கு தந்தாரோ கையாட்டு. சித்தங்கா போக்கு சிவம்போக்கு என சொன்னாரே. பித்தங்கா போக மருந்தாக தனம் வந்தாரே. வடகாசி தென்காசி வழியோரன் சித்தரடி. ஐயாத்தி முடிஞ்சாக்கா அடையாளம் கண்டுபிடி. கண்டாரே காணாதத கண்டாரே. கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே. கண்டாரே காணாதத கண்டாரே. ஒரு வீடு ஒரு கூடு அட எதுவும் கிடையாதே. சாக்காடு பிடிமூப்பு அதையெல்லாம் கடந்தாரே. கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே. கூத்தாடும் சடையாண்டி அதை குறியா கொண்டாரே. காத்தோடு கதை பேசி சிவஞானம் கண்டாரே. பத்தோட ஓரட்டு பத்தோட 18 சித்தர்கள் விளையாட்டு. எத்தனை பேருக்கு தந்தாரோ கையாட்டு. சித்தங்கா போக்கு சிவம்போக்கு என சொன்னாரே. பித்தங்கா போக மருந்தாக தனம் வந்தாரே. வடகாசி தென்காசி வழியோரன் சித்தரடி. ஐயாத்தி முடிஞ்சாக்கா அடையாளம் கண்டுபிடி. கண்டாரே காணாதத கண்டாரே. கண்டாரே கைலாசம் கண்டாரே.
ஐயா சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர. ஐயா சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர. இறப்பும் பிறப்பு நான் அறிய வரவறிய கை செலவறிய பரசிவ திருவடி மறந்தறிய. சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர. சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர சிவ 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 ரகர ரகர சிவ 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 ரகர. சாமி வழியறிய கொண்ட வழியறிய பாவ புண்ணியம் நான் அறிய. குலமறியேன் பிறர் நலமறிய நீத கண்டன மறந்தறிய. சிவ 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 ரகர ரக.
நித்யானந்தேஸ்வர பரமசிவ சமாரம்பாம். நித்யானந்தேஸ்வரி பரமசக்தி மத்யமாம். அஸ்மதாச்சார்ய பர்யந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம். I welcome you all with my love and blessings. I welcome all the devotees, disciples Samajis, Satsangis, Shrimahans, Mahans, Tanidar Kotari, visitors, viewers, sitting with us all over the world through Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's HN TV. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Paramashiva's direct message from Kailasa. Listen. Your experience about you is conscious sovereignty. In reality, your experience about you is conscious sovereignty. Your prenatal, postnatal habits listen intensely. The conscious sovereignty is the core of your reality. Your prenatal, postnatal habits cannot bind you or chain you. Prenatal habits are called karmas. Postnatal habits are called patterns. Both together can be called as mind. Mind which chains you, binds you with your prenatal, postnatal patterns, habits, attitudes, karmas cannot bind you in reality. Listen. I am revealing the truth as it is. This is literally Nirvana Diksha. Truth as it is, without being clothed, dressed, or any makeup. Raw, straight, wild, real truth as it is. Your conscious sovereignty is your reality. Your prenatal patterns and habits and karmas, postnatal patterns and habits and karmas, nothing can actually bind you. Nothing can actually chain you. Understand? Your delusion, you are bound, itself is an illusion. I'll tell you. I'll give you one example. My Guru Arunagiri Yogeshwara told me very clearly one statement. கண்ண பிரம்மாண்டத்துல இருக்கிறதாம்பா பிண்டாண்டத்துல இருக்கு. நீ தினம் பார்க்கிற
ஜாக்கிரத் சொப்ன சுஷுப்தி இந்த 3 நிலைகளையும் புரிஞ்சதுனாலே 25 துரியாதீதம் வரைக்கும் முழுசா எல்லா நிலையும் புரிஞ்சிரும்பா, அனுபவம் ஆயிடும். I'll translate in English. He told me, whatever is in the cosmos, macrocosm, is in the microcosm. Whatever you go through in your deep sleep, dream and waking state, if you start understanding, you will realize all the 25 states up to Turyadita and experience. This is the formula, basic formula he gave me. Understand this formula. I'll give you more detailed, deeper revelations when you wake up from a nightmare. You always feel bad for suffering those few seconds or minutes in the nightmare. Instead of celebrating, you are free from it. Same way, whenever you are out of delusion by a powerful cognition, celebrate you are out of delusion due to powerful cognition. Don't try to repent, feel powerless, guilty about the delusion with which you suffered. Listen, actually, in reality, delusion itself is because of your non-involvement, inactivity, withdrawal. When an elephant sleeps, even a wolf and fox will try to bite his leg. Listen. When an elephant sleeps, wolf and fox will try to bite his leg. When a lion is fast asleep, even wolves and foxes will try to eat the meat. Listen carefully. I'll repeat. Because the lion is sleeping, wolves and foxes get the courage to come near the lion, try to eat the leftover meat. Because the elephant is sleeping, wolves and foxes will try to come and bite the feet of the elephant, try to take a bite. Because you are not involved with yourself, even your delusion is invited upon you. Listen. Why you have nightmare? Because you fell into the lower conscious identity. Your decision to fall into the lower conscious identity naturally invites nightmare in you. Your decision to wake up to the higher identity not only will throw away the nightmare, it can throw away all delusions and illusions. When you have delusions, illusions, sufferings. Do not try to work on facts, figures, informations. Work on your identity. If you are having a nightmare, a tiger is chasing you, you are about to fall from a cliff below, lake filled with crocodiles, too many poisonous snakes. Don't try to get a gun and try to kill all the animals. Don't try to work with the scene. Stupidest, most foolish thing is trying to work with the scene before attending to your lower conscious identity. Even if you kill all the tigers, elephants, crocodiles, animals you are seeing in your nightmare, you will see new animals will be immediately replaced. Listen. Working on your conscious reality will wake up your conscious sovereignty in you that will solve millions of problems you are facing in your life, even in a very practical, strategic way. You always think, will my conscious sovereignty help me to strategize and win in my life? You think, oh, if I am awakened, achieve conscious sovereignty, I may leave all this and that way all my problems will be solved. But I wanted to play this game and very strategically, successfully. Hey, I am telling you, wake up to the higher conscious sovereignty. You will be amazingly strategic. Amazingly strategic. Successful. Extremely blissful. Declare your conscious sovereignty, supremacy over your prenatal, postnatal karmas and patterns, habits, attitudes. Everything you acquired before your birth, prenatal, after your birth, postnatal. Declare your conscious sovereignty, conscious supremacy over all that. All that. Prenatal, postnatal cannot bind you. Cannot bind you. How your nightmares cannot bind you. Even when you go through your nightmares, you are not really affected. Listen. In your nightmare, if you are seeing a snake biting you, a poisonous snake biting you, it's not that your body really gets poisoned and you die. No. All nightmare is designed ultimately to wake you up. All delusions are designed ultimately to enlighten you. Shani comes in your life. Rahu comes in your life only to wake you up to Guru and give you enlightenment. Understand? Even your delusion is nothing more than you just slapping your face and waking yourself. How sometimes in the morning you wash your face and just slap yourself and wake you up, or stretch your body, do yoga and make yourself fully awake. Same way, your delusions are designed to wake you up. Listen. Your realization of your conscious sovereignty will bring ultimate relationship between you and me. You know, you are Paramashiva, I am Paramashiva, and with extreme oneness, how you love you, you will love me. Only a person who realizes his conscious sovereignty, his relationship with me, it will be eternal. I trust only that relationship. This is the chastity of your soul, consciousness. This Guru Purnima, I give you all the gift, establishing relationship between you and me, conscious sovereignty centered. You are conscious sovereign being, Paramashiva. And I am Paramashiva, you are Paramashiva. How you love you, same way you love me. How I love me, same way I love you. We both love ourselves and each other in oneness. I give you all this sweet gift of conscious sovereignty centered relationship between you and me as Guru Purnima Prasada. From today, I'll help you all till Guru Purnima to align the conscious sovereignty centered relationship. See, if we had our relationship diluted, deluded, in course of time, little greed, little fear, that your greed, you want some boon from me, your fear, you want me to save you from some problems. If all that got added, nothing wrong, you don't need to worry about it. It is just a small delusions. But now let us revive, re-establish our relationship, conscious sovereignty centered. Understand? Many times my disciples come and tell me, you all the time train only me, find only faults on me. See, the other person is also having the same problem, but you don't tell anything to them. Listen. When I am correcting you, working on you, cleaning your patterns, how do you expect I will not do the same on the other person also? I do it when you don't see, or the way you can't see. But with each one I am working to evolve our relationship, conscious sovereignty based. Understand? The truths I am talking today is the pure Nirvana Diksha. Listen carefully. Your reality means Jiva Tattva, Jiva Satya. Your existence's reality is conscious sovereignty. And with that same realization, you are a conscious sovereign being. Relating with Paramashiva is the love centered on oneness. Paramadvaita Bhakti. You know, you are conscious sovereign being and your Guru is conscious sovereign being. As you love you, you love your Guru. It is due to the oneness you feel with your Guru, you love him deeply. Jiva relating with Ishvara should be through this Paramadvaita Bhakti. Ultimate oneness centered Bhakti. First. Second, your Jiva, soul, which declares conscious sovereignty over this Jagat world, manifests most powerful existence and life, Ishwaratva, over this whole existence. That is the core principle, truth, from which all power manifestation happens. So understand, you declaring your conscious sovereignty is jnana, knowledge of the truth. Yukti, powerful yukti, and buddhi, powerful knowledge. You, with that same realization of conscious sovereignty, in love with Paramatma, Parabrahma, Parandama, Paramashiva, Paramburul, the Guru, who gives you this knowledge, having oneness and love with that being, is Parama Bhakti, the ultimate Bhakti. You declaring your conscious sovereignty over this Jagat is Parama Shakti, ultimate power. Listen, you declaring conscious sovereignty, realizing that as a reality, deciding to live it, is Buddhi, the greatest Parama Buddhi. You, with that same realization of conscious sovereignty, connecting with your Guru, loving him as you love you, because you are also Paramashiva, he is also Paramashiva. In that oneness, loving him is Parama Bhakti. You declaring your conscious sovereignty within you and conscious supremacy over this Jagat is Parama Shakti, power manifestation. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, these three, when it becomes centered on conscious sovereignty, you are Paramashiva. Listen. Even now you are Paramashiva. Realizing it is the Paramayukti, ultimate truth and strategy for life. I'll tell you. In the cosmic level, Paramashiva has 5 of his dimensions: creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, destruction and rejuvenation, putting in and pulling out of delusion, and liberation. All these 5. In your microcosmic life, in your Pindanda microcosmic level, you play the same game. Every day, the new cells getting created, new organs getting manifested in your body is your creation. All of you need to know. Including your brain, everything gets newly created. New cells are created every minute, every second. This is your creation. In microcosmic level, in macrocosmic level, the planets which manifest planets are getting created. In microcosmic level, the cells are created. In the macrocosmic level, whatever is created is continuously getting sustained. In microcosmic level, the body you create is getting sustained. The life you manifest is getting sustained by you. You continuously breathing, inhaling and exhaling, keeping you alive is sustenance, maintenance in microcosmic level. In the macrocosmic level, destruction, rejuvenation, samhara is black holes swallowing big bangs. In the microcosmic level, the old cells getting killed and new cells getting formed is rejuvenation, samhara. In your body, in your microcosmic level, Pindanda level. Same way, in the Brahmanda level, the delusion is cosmos creating deluges, pralayas to rejuvenate itself, clean itself. I told you, this year, not just corona, there are so many other natural calamities. To clean the collective negativity will happen. This deluge, pralaya, will clean up a lot of collective negativity. You can see the heat wave all over the world. All the Panchabhutas playing and aligning itself. In the cosmic level, this is the delusion, throbhava going on. In the macrocosm, Pindanda level, you forgetting your existence as Paramashiva, higher reality, falling into the nightmares and going through, is the small scale Throbhava. Delusion in the Pindanda, microcosmic level you go through. In the cosmic level, Brahmanda level, liberation, Anugraha is Paramashiva himself manifesting as this Nijavadara Nithyananda and making this Kailasa happen. And guiding all the beings in microcosmic level, Pindanda level, you receiving these powerful cognitions and liberating yourself from all this deluge by holding on to the Guru's feet is the liberation happening in you. Understand, whatever is happening in Brahmanda, macrocosm, is happening in your Pindanda, microcosm. So don't worry about your delusions. Don't be powerless about it. Don't try to work with the facts and figures externally. Don't try to work with the seen. Work on the seer. I tell you, listen carefully. When Krishna declares his state, space, powers, being, how he is and his conscious sovereignty, whoever listened to him reached the Parandama, Vaikunta, his space. At the same time, Shishubala was trying to portray, describe how Krishna is. Whoever listened to Shishubala lived in Shishubala's space and got destroyed. When I declare about me, my state, my space, my being, my consciousness, if you connect with that, you will enjoy Kailasa and the ultimate space, conscious sovereignty I am manifesting. Instead, if you try to do independent research, independent investigation, the druggies, rapists, devil worshippers, racists, this gang, how they try to portray me, describe me, like how Shishubala, Saguni, all of them try to describe Krishna. Same way, these culinaries, rapists, child rapists, druggies, devil worshippers, when this gang try to describe me, abuse me, and if you listen to them, their words, you will be in their space and get destroyed. You will become druggy, you will become them and get destroyed. Because with whom you relate and connect, whose words you decide to believe, you get there by energy. That is why I again and again tell you, if you are doing your independent investigation based on the opinions of the druggies, child rapists, racists, criminals, culnaries, and devil worshippers, you will only reach their space. Rot and die in their space. Listen. That is why it is important to connect with how Krishna introduces himself. Not how Shaguni or Shishubala introduces Krishna. Listen. Intensely, consciously, ferociously decide to work on your conscious sovereignty. It's extremely exciting, fresh, alive experience of beautiful sunrise. Conscious sovereignty is the beautiful sunrise. I tell you, if you don't have a good friends to inspire you, don't talk to anyone, don't spend time with anyone, just spend time with my satsangs. That's the best friend you can have for yourself to enlighten you. Wrong friends will destroy your life. All those people who tell you, you should do your own independent investigation, they will put their shit on your mouth. They will nicely cook it. It may even feel tasty sometimes, spicy. Only when it goes inside you will realize the impact of it. Understand? Falling into the delusion is not wrong, but not coming out is wrong. Falling into the delusion is not wrong, but not coming out is wrong. If any fear or greed, knowingly or unknowingly entered between guru-disciple relationship, now is the time purifying it, rejuvenating it, pulling out of delusion and liberating yourself, getting back, aligning to conscious sovereignty centered relationship. Conscious sovereignty centric relationship. Conscious sovereignty centric buddhi Bhakti, Shakti. Conscious sovereignty centric. Buddhi, Bhakti, Shakti. I tell you, have right friends who inspire your conscious sovereignty, enlightenment, and right Guru Bhakti. If you don't have that kind of friends, better don't relate with them. Don't relate with anyone. Just spend time with yourself, watching my satsang, reading my books. That will inspire you, raise you to experience conscious sovereignty. I tell you. This deluge, pralaya, brings many delusions. Lies looks like facts. See, when you are boiling with insecurity, any person giving you any information which may look like a fact, you will take that as a truth and make stupid decisions. Like this Shishubala and Saguni, when they abuse Krishna, they always get some facts, some figures, some ideas as a evidence for them. Twisted, misrepresented, manipulated. When you are boiling in hatred, you simply swallow the shit supplied to you by Shishubala and Saguni. And his gang. Shishubala Saguni gang. Description about Krishna will destroy your life and you will be destroying others' life. Go to Krishna's version about himself. That will liberate you and you will be liberating others. Listen to this satsang intensely. This conscious sovereignty centered buddhi, bhakti, shakti, yukti, strategies. These are the best things you can manifest in your life. This Guru Purnima gift for all of you from me is this conscious sovereignty centered buddhi, shakti, bhakti, yukti as a gift. As a gift. Bring your relationship with the Guru conscious sovereignty centered. He will take care of everything else. He will give you the buddhi to experience you as a conscious sovereign being. He will give you shakti to declare your conscious supremacy over this jagat with a conscious sovereignty. He will give you yukti, conscious sovereignty life strategies. Understand? Even morning waking up and doing yoga is a strategy for conscious sovereignty. Doing puja is the strategy for the conscious sovereignty. Eating vegetarian food is a strategy for conscious sovereignty. He will give you all the best yuktis. Guru will give you all the best yuktis for conscious sovereignty. The Madeleine Portuguese is writing a message. What an incredible satsang. This is exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you, Swamiji. Hey, listen. This is exactly what the whole world need to hear. Whole world need to listen. I am talking to each one of you. Whether you are my sweet, deep feeling connected disciple or very deeply connected but very shy to express the devotion, like Maitrik Patel, very deeply connected but very shy, or deeply connected but reluctant warrior, like Anusha Kodali, very deeply connected but reluctant warrior. Oh, I don't know whether I will miss this, I will miss that. Oh, I don't know how I will feel about it. Oh, I don't know after going to Kailasa what will be my feeling. Will I be able to sustain? Will I be able to do this? Will I be able to do that? Will I? This is what I call reluctant warriors. Whatever may be the state or space you are in, I tell you, you all need to listen to this truth today. See, I have some of my balasans, extremely devoted. When I walk, they will come behind me, just following my footsteps. But if there is a need to protect me, defend me, they will just jump in front of me, ready to give even their own life to protect me. I tell you. Some of the most beautiful Tyagis have come down with me from Kailasa. They have come down from Kailasa. You will see their manifestations, how they manifest themselves and hold themselves. You will see now when Kailasa is open to all of you, and when you are all able to come and have the experience of Kailasa physically. That kind of a highly dedicated Tyagi disciples, from that level to People who just got connected yesterday's satsang and feel this guy is talking something with sense. It is not that as the troll boys, the troll videos and memes guys abuse him. See, many times these trolls and memes guys, they think they can abuse me and try to put some music and edit, cut and twist, manipulate my words and try to spread. But you know, funny thing, I'll give you the statistics. There are millions of people who saw troll video, memes, abusive videos first and then Googled about me, saw the satsang and got connected and became devotees. But we don't have a single person who was a devotee and saw the troll video or memes video and lost the devotion, left me. See the whole scene. So those fools, trolls, abusers, all of them, not only all their efforts are waste, indirectly it is helping my mission. Even though they don't want to help, their intention is no way helping my mission, but the final result is helping my mission. That's the way it is ending. That's the way it is happening. So listen, whether somebody who got connected just yesterday or a great tyagi, you may be any level disciple. You need to hear this truth. Whole world need to hear this truth of conscious sovereignty. Listen. So many people trolled, distorted, abused my statement about that me talking to me. Actually, if you see the original video, you will understand this is the Paramadvaita, the ultimate Advaitic statement. Cosmic me, Paramashiva, manifesting in this as me, talking to all of you who are experiencing me in you. All of you experience you as me. That me in you and the me in me and cosmic me, all three are made of same substance called consciousness. Because I have realized cosmic me, individual me, and the me in you, all three are one and the same. I love cosmic me, the me in you, as me in me. And that me talking through this me to the me in all of you. So many people trolled. I think this is a super hit troll video. But Many people who got little curious, triggered, something seems to be like making sense. Why is he telling what he is telling? Let me just Google. Whoever Googled and started seeing more satsangs, they all got connected. They all got connected. I tell you, the truth you need to hear now is conscious sovereignty. The truth you need to meditate now is conscious sovereignty. Hold this in your being. Meditate on it intensely. Wherever you are, you will manifest me. Wherever you are, you will manifest Paramashiva. I am here to give you this bliss, this conscious sovereignty, the ultimate freedom. Especially when you start manifesting one or two powers from your conscious sovereignty, you will get so much strength and confidence on you. About the conscious sovereignty, you will understand what I am doing, my mission. Listen. Every breath I am taking, manifesting as words, is initiation to give you conscious sovereignty. Every movement I am doing is a sweet hug, Shaktipada, Shaktinipada, initiating all of you through Sparshadiksha, giving you conscious sovereignty. Everything I do is to make you experience conscious sovereignty. Realize conscious sovereignty. I tell you. Especially you are going through the third 7. See, first 7 year, second 7 year, third 7 year, fourth 7 year. This third 7 year and fourth 7 year means age 14 to 21 and 21 to 28. This two is the most important period of your life. If you are between 14 to 28 and you withstood this pralaya and stayed back with me, I guarantee you are enlightened. I will manifest conscious sovereignty in all its dimension in you, because that is the time internally and externally so much turbulence happens. if you are between 14 and 28 and stayed in Kailasa, means, you see, if you have come already into the Kailasa and stayed with me, you won the game. If you have not come at all, but connected as a devotee and stayed as a devotee, continuing as a devotee, and then also again you won the game. Both team never came, but wanting to come, never broke the integrity. You won the Kailasa. You won the game. Came, withstood all this turbulence and pralaya and stayed. You won the game. This is the most crucial time, this 14 to 28, to build the conscious sovereignty. The hormones, chemicals, everything. The way it churns inside, outside. The way you feel about you, because of that, the way you feel about Guru and others. Conscious sovereignty is the truth. You should digest, internalize, hold, build buddhi, bhakti, shakti, yukti out of this powerful truth, conscious sovereignty. It's the ultimate freedom and ultimate enlightenment. Sit now, your head, neck, spine straight. No need to close your eyes. Keep your eyes open intensely, seeing me through all your three eyes. I'll give you Shakti Pada and Shaktini Pada to experience conscious sovereignty. Conscious sovereignty.
அகிலம் உன்னுள் அச்சத்தையே விதைக்குது. அசைய மெது மெதுவா பேராசையா மாத்துது. ஆளும் அகிலம் உன்னுள் அச்சத்தையே விதைக்குது. அசைய மெது மெதுவா பேராசையா மாத்துது. ஆன்மீக வாழ்வு தரும் ஆனந்தமும் தேடி வர ஆகாது ஆசையற்ற தூர ஓட்டிடு. ஆன்மீக வாழ்வு தரும் ஆனந்தமும் தேடி வர ஆகாது ஆசையற்ற தூர ஓட்டிடு. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. ஆடலாம் பாடலாம் கொண்டாடலாம் ஆனந்தமாய் நித்தியனவன் பாதை வாழலாம். தியானமாம் நித்திய தந்த பாதை தன்னிலே ஆட்டமுடன் பாட்டமோடு ஆனந்தமாய் கொண்டாடவே. ஆன்மஞான கூடுமே வாழ்வே நித்யானந்தமாகுமே. ஆன்மஞான கூடுமே வாழ்வே நித்யானந்தமாகுமே. நித்யானந்த சத்குருவின் காலடியை பற்ற மற்ற எண்ணமெல்லாம் ஓடிவிடுமே. மனம் கொண்ட எண்ணமோட குரு நித்தியனவன் சக்தி அது வாழ்வை பெறும் என்ப தருமே. மனமே மாயை என்று நித்யானந்த சொன்னது. மிகையாய் ஆண்டிருந்தால் ஏமாற்றமே மிஞ்சது. மனமே மாயை என்று நித்யானந்த சொன்னது. மிகையாய் ஆண்டிருந்தால் ஏமாற்றமே மிஞ்சது. மீளாத ஆனந்தமும் சேரும் உன் கண் திறந்து மனமே வரும் இல்லை என்று ஏற்றுக்கொள்வது. மீளாத ஆனந்தமும் சேரும் உன் கண் திறந்து மனமே வரும் இல்லை என்று ஏற்றுக்கொள்வது. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. ஆடலாம் பாடலாம் கொண்டாடலாம் ஆனந்தமாய் நித்தியனவன் பாதை பாடலாம். தியானமாம் நித்திய தந்த பாதை தன்னிலே ஆட்டமுடன் பாட்டமோடு ஆனந்தமாய் கொண்டாடவே. ஆன்மஞான கூடுமே வாழ்வே நித்யானந்தமாகுமே. ஆன்மஞான கூடுமே வாழ்வே நித்யானந்தமாகுமே. நித்யானந்த சத்குருவின் காலடியை பற்ற மற்ற எண்ணமெல்லாம் ஓடிவிடுமே. மனம் கொண்ட எண்ணமோட குரு நித்தியனவன் சக்தி அது வாழ்வை பெறும் என்ப தருமே. அகந்தை ஓடிவிட ஆனந்தமாய் ஆடிடு. ஆனந்த வாழ்வு காண நித்திய தந்த வழியிது. அகந்தை ஓடிவிட ஆனந்தமாய் ஆடிடு. ஆனந்த வாழ்வு காண நித்திய தந்த வழியிது. உருவம் இல்லாது உள்ளே பொங்கி எழும் ஆனந்தத்தை வடிவாய் வெளிக்காட்டிவிடும் யுக்தி தான் இது. உருவம் இல்லாது உள்ளே பொங்கி எழும் ஆனந்தத்தை வடிவாய் வெளிக்காட்டிவிடும் யுக்தி தான் இது. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. நித்திய மந்திரமாச்சு வாழ்வின் அனந்த யந்திரமாச்சு. ஆடலாம் என்னப்பனல்லவா என்னப்பனல்லவா என் தாயுமல்லவா என் தாயுமல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பனல்லவா என் தாயுமல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா என்னப்பனல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நிலை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்கி பெறும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நெய்தவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா
உடலை காத்திட வைத்தான் தாயாய் பேரருள் புரிய உடல் ரோமம் சிலிர்த்திட நித்யனாய் வந்து அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார் ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் சித்தை கிளப்பி விட்டேனில் பர தத்துவம் கற்பித்த பாரமஞானியாய் ஞானக்கண் கொடுத்த தமக்கே ரூபம் காட்டிய மாய வித்தை செய்யும் நித்யன் சித்தை கிளப்பி விட்டேனில் பர தத்துவம் கற்பித்த பாரமஞானியாய் ஞானக்கண் கொடுத்த தமக்கே ரூபம் காட்டிய மாய வித்தை செய்யும் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் மெய்ப்பொருளான நித்யனை ஆழ்ந்து சிந்திக்க ஐயனின் ரூபம் விளங்கும் யாண்டும் சிவசக்தியாக ஐம்பொறிகளுக்கும் புலனாகின்ற நித்யன் மெய்ப்பொருளான நித்யனை ஆழ்ந்து சிந்திக்க ஐயனின் ரூபம் விளங்கும் யாண்டும் சிவசக்தியாக ஐம்பொறிகளுக்கும் புலனாகின்ற நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் உள்ளும் பூரமும் இருந்து உயிர் பக்குவமாக்கிடும் பரமனாம் நித்யன் ஞானப்பாடித்தங்கள் ஏழும் கொண்ட ஞானமும் ஆகியே ஆண்டிடும் நித்யன் உள்ளும் பூரமும் இருந்து உயிர் பக்குவமாக்கிடும் பரமனாம் நித்யன் ஞானப்பாடித்தங்கள் ஏழும் கொண்ட ஞானமும் ஆகியே ஆண்டிடும் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் ஆப்த வாக்கியங்களான அருள் கவிதைகள் நித்யனின் மகிமை சொல்லிடும் மகிமை அர்த்தித்த பின்னே சிவசக்தி ஸ்வரூபமாய் தோன்றிடும் நித்யன் ஆப்த வாக்கியங்களான அருள் கவிதைகள் நித்யனின் மகிமை சொல்லிடும் மகிமை அர்த்தித்த பின்னே சிவசக்தி ஸ்வரூபமாய் தோன்றிடும் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புண்ணிய கேத்திரம் தனிலே நித்யன் உன்னத நிலை ஊழத்தில் வருமே விண்ணவர் மன்னவர் ஒப்ப அகிலம் ஆளும் கீர்த்தியுடை ஈசன் நித்யானந்தன் புண்ணிய கேத்திரம் தனிலே நித்யன் உன்னத நிலை ஊழத்தில் வருமே விண்ணவர் மன்னவர் ஒப்ப அகிலம் ஆளும் கீர்த்தியுடை ஈசன் நித்யானந்தன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் முப்புரி நூலை தரித்தவன் ஐயன் வேதியன் வெந்நீர் பூசிய நித்யன் அண்டத்தின் மூல காரணன் முடிவற்ற ஆனந்தத்தை தொண்டர் கருள்வான் முப்புரி நூலை தரித்தவன் ஐயன் வேதியன் வெந்நீர் பூசிய நித்யன் அண்டத்தின் மூல காரணன் முடிவற்ற ஆனந்தத்தை தொண்டர் கருள்வான் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமை கொண்டிட
I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, collective integrity. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The state, space, powers, being, and superconsciousness of Paramashiva, Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om. I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, collective integrity, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness. And Kailasa of Paramashiva. I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, collective integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, Paramadvaitam, Shuddhadvaita Saivam, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
श्री कैलासोन्नतद्वादशान्त श्यामला पीठारूढ श्री मीनाक्षि सुन्दरेश्वरा भिन्न स्वरूप परशिवपुत्र रत्न कुमार गुरुमण्यतुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपानलब्ध दिव्य ज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागम सारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रयान गीयमान छत्र चामर श्रीचिह्न काहलादि समस्त बिरदावल्यलङ्कृत ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती सर्वजन संघ सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्ययापवर्गवर्ष विश्राण जीमूत परमत कलभ केसरी शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्रीराजाधिराज पाण्ड्य महाराज गुरु क्षपण शाक्यादि महान्धकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षणानर्हार्हध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद्वृषभध्वजस्थापक शैव समय कर्त्रे सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ श्री जगद्गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामिनाम् अवतार भूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ 93 गुरु महासन्निधान अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ 33 गुरु महासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्यमङ्गल नित्यकल्याण नित्यरजित कैलास परम्परागत आदिकैलास नित्यानन्द पीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहा
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashivoham Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadasham Tattvamasya Lakshmim Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness.